Back then, no one asked where you were. You left after breakfast and came back when the streetlights flickered on. No phones, no helmets, just scraped knees, wild games, and a world that belonged to kids. If you remember that kind of freedom, you grew up in the 1970s. You didn't need a watch. The streetlights were your curfew. As long as the sun was up, the neighborhood was your kingdom. We played tag, Red Rover, or just made up new games with sticks and chalk. No supervision, no structured play dates, just you and a pack of kids running wild. There was something magical about that kind of freedom. You learned to solve arguments, take a fall, and keep playing. I still remember the sting of falling on gravel and the pride of brushing it off without a tear. And when those streetlights buzzed on, just like that, we vanished. No one called. We just knew. But the adventures of the day, they stuck with us for life. You weren't truly free until you had a banana seat bike. Long seat, high handlebars, and maybe a baseball card clipped to the spokes to make it growl like a motorcycle. That wasn't just a bike, it was your pride. No helmets, no maps, just you, your bike, and the world. We'd race to the store, the park, or nowhere in particular, just for the thrill of it. If the chain fell off, you didn't panic. You flipped it over, fixed it yourself, and kept riding. That bike taught us something no adult ever had to say. If you want to go somewhere, you figure it out and you go. It didn't matter where you were, at church, school, or about to meet grandma. If your face had dirt, mom had a solution. Spit on a handkerchief. She'd lick her thumb, grab your chin, and scrub like she was cleaning a stovetop. It stung a little. It smelled like mom. But it worked. No antibacterial wipes, no pocket sanitizers, just that magical mix of mom's spit and fabric softener. Somehow it removed everything. Dirt, peanut butter, crayon smudges. Looking back, it wasn't just about being clean. It was about care. Quick, instinctive, a little embarrassing, but full of love. And once your face was clean, there was only one thing on your mind. What's inside that lunchbox? Our lunchboxes were made of metal, dinged up from recess battles, and proudly decorated with our favorite superheroes or cartoon shows. Inside, a sandwich wrapped in wax paper, maybe some chips, and if you were lucky, a ding-dong. The meat? Could have been tuna, could have been mystery. No ice packs, no coolers. Just room temperature, food baking in your cubby all morning. And yet, we survived. We traded sandwiches, swapped cookies, and silently judged the kid who brought carrot sticks. Lunch was more than a break. It was our first taste of economy and negotiation. Of course, some of those deals ended in scrapes or bruises, but back then, getting hurt didn't mean calling a lawyer. It just meant a good story. Back then, getting hurt wasn't a big deal. It was almost expected. A scraped elbow meant you played hard. A bruise? That was proof you didn't back down. We climbed trees without fear, jumped off jungle gyms, and raced bikes downhill on gravel roads. Sure, we fell. Sometimes we bled, but no one blamed the equipment and no one got sued. You got patched up with a Band-Aid, maybe a splash of iodine if your mom was feeling brave, and off you went again. Those scabs weren't shameful. They were badges, stories, worn with pride. And just when you thought things couldn't get crazier, along came birthday parties, where safety was optional, but the fun was guaranteed. Birthday parties in the 70s weren't Pinterest perfect. They were wild, chaotic, and unforgettable. We played pin the tail on the donkey with an actual thumbtack while blindfolded and dizzy from spinning. We ate donuts hanging from strings with our hands tied behind our backs. Sometimes upside down. Yes, really. Then there were the lawn darts, heavy, sharp, and flying through the air with zero adult supervision. That was part of the thrill. No goodie bags, no organic snacks, just hot dogs, soda, and maybe a scraped knee or two. But you left with more than cake. You left with stories, and maybe a new scar that came with bragging rights. Saturday mornings were sacred. You woke up early, not for chores, but for cartoons. With a bowl of sugary cereal in your lap, you'd plant yourself in front of the TV for hours. Looney Tunes, Scooby-Doo, Fat Albert, pure magic. And when night fell, it was time for the drive-in. Pajamas on, back seat blankets ready. We'd watch double features from the car, with the window speaker crackling and popcorn in greasy paper bags. No stadium seating, no assigned rows, just fireflies, fuzzy screens, and the thrill of staying up late. TV and movies weren't just entertainment, they were family rituals. Moments that felt small then, but meant everything now. Before texting, before cell phones, you had the rotary phone. And calling a friend took effort. You dialed slowly, number by number, praying no one picked up on the party line. If you were lucky, your friend's mom didn't answer first. And while you talked, you'd twist the long curly cord around your fingers or stretch it across the kitchen like a tightrope. That cord saw every secret, every crush, every bit of gossip. It wasn't just a phone, it was a lifeline. You didn't scroll back then, you waited for the phone to ring, and when it did, you ran. And if no one answered, well, you knocked on their door instead. Saying "I'm bored" in the 70s was a dangerous move. The moment it left your lips, your mom would assign you a task: sweeping the porch, cleaning windows, or worst of all, organizing the junk drawer. So we got creative fast. A stick became a sword, a rope turned into a zip line. Dirt, water, and a few old cans? That was a mud factory. Boredom didn't mean nothing to do. It meant unlimited possibilities. We didn't need instructions. We made it up. That feeling of turning nothing into something, it stuck with us. And when we really wanted to go big, we grabbed scrap wood and built entire worlds. When we got really ambitious, we didn't build Lego castles. We built real ones. From scrap wood, found in alleys, garages, or wherever Dad left his leftover plywood. We'd hammer it together, crooked, uneven, sometimes barely standing. But it was ours. No permits, no blueprints. Just imagination and maybe a "No Girls Allowed" sign scribbled in marker. Inside, we held meetings, told secrets, made up rules. It wasn't just a clubhouse, it was a kingdom. And for that one summer, you felt like the ruler of the universe. We didn't order it off Amazon. We built it with blistered hands and crooked nails. And somehow it meant more that way. We came home to empty houses, no babysitters, no text check-ins, just a house key on a shoelace around your neck and a note on the counter, dinner in the fridge. We'd make ourselves a snack, do homework or not, and maybe watch a little TV before anyone got home. It wasn't neglect, it was trust. Our parents believed we were capable, so we became capable. We learned responsibility, not from lectures, but from living it. Lock the door. Don't answer the phone. And if something felt off, you used your gut. That kind of independence felt normal then. Now, people call it risky, but to us, it just felt like growing up. Every December, the big wish book arrived. Sears, J.C. Penney, Montgomery Ward. We'd flip through its pages for hours, circling everything we dreamed of. Toy trucks, BB guns, easy-bake ovens. We didn't expect it all. Heck, we didn't expect most of it. But if we got just one thing, we were over the moon. There was magic in the waiting, in hoping, in knowing our parents did what they could, even if it meant layaway and second jobs. We didn't need a mountain of gifts. We needed that one moment, tearing open the paper and realizing they heard us. And somehow that one gift always felt like the perfect one. We didn't realize it at the time, but we were learning something in everything we did. We learned independence from latchkey afternoons, learned resilience from skinned knees and busted bikes, learned empathy when we shared cookies at lunch or gave up our turn on the swing. No one called it character building. It was just life, unfiltered, sometimes messy, always real. There were no apps, no tutorials, just trial, error, and instinct. And somehow it shaped us into people who could adapt, improvise, and keep going. We didn't grow up with much, but we grew up with enough. And maybe, just maybe, that made all the difference. If you grew up in the 70s, you didn't just remember, you felt it. What's one thing you did back then that no kid today would ever believe. Share your memory in the comments. Let's keep the 70s alive, one story at a time.